Please come to order. Uh-oh, wait a minute. We got a special guest. It looks like Sonny the Squirrel from our Parks and Recreation has got something for me. Thank you, Sonny, for being here.
Phil, Commissioner.
Wow, this is a real surprise. So Sonny the Squirrel is the mascot for our Parks and Recreation Department in St. Mary's County, and he must be coming out of his winter home. He's out here. All right, spring must be right around the corner. Here's a letter from him. It's a reminder for the annual Cherry Blossom Festival. On behalf of Sonny and our awesome team at Recreation and Parks, all residents are invited to attend the Cherry Blossom Festival on Saturday, April 6th from noon to 4 at Lexington Manor, Paso Park. This free community event offers fun for the whole family, including food trucks, arts and crafts, games, face painting, giveaways, and much more. This year's festival will also include a special ribbon cutting ceremony at 1 p.m. to celebrate the grand opening of the new community garden. You won't want to miss this. Please come out April 6th and enjoy it.
Sonny had some special gifts for you.
Special
I
gifts?
got 'em.
Yeah, I got my carrots and my tomato seeds. Thank goodness. Be able to withstand inflation.
Thank you so much, Sonny. We'll see you April 6th. Well, now, let's get on to business here. Good morning. Welcome to the Commissioners of St. Mary's County meeting this date, Tuesday, March 5th, 2024. I am Randy Guy, President of the Commissioners of St. Mary's County. I'd like to introduce the other commissioners. Sitting to my right, representing the 1st Commissioner District, which includes Ridge, Piney Point, St. George Island, Mr. Eric Colvin.
Good morning.
Representing the 2nd Commissioner District, which includes Leonardtown, Hollywood, Mr. Mike Hewitt.
Good morning.
Sitting to my left, representing the 3rd Commissioner District, which includes Charlotte Hall, 7th District, Golden Beach, and Mechanicsville, Mr. Mike Alderson.
Good morning.
Representing the 4th Commissioner District, which includes Lexington Park, some of California, Great Mills, and some of Hollywood, Mr. Scott Ostro.
Morning.
Seated next to Commissioner Ostro at the end of the dais is David Weiskopf, our County Administrator.
Morning.
On my immediate right is Julia Birch, our recording for today. Sitting at the table to my right is our Communications Director, Jenna Guzman.
Good morning.
And Andrew Beckman, our video production staff, is behind the glass. And Amy is out front here again, so everybody gets a chance to see Amy in person. Please turn your cell phones off or on vibrate. When you come to the presenters table, please come down the center aisle. And remember, this meeting is being televised, so you need to speak clearly and directly into the microphone for recording purposes. At this time, we'll have the invocation and pledge by Commissioner Alderson. Please stand.
Dear Lord, bless our proceedings today, bless people of this county. Help guide our decisions up here today with your wisdom to provide what we can, what is best for our county as we plot these perilous financial times we're looking at. Please keep our 2 injured first responders in your grace and care, and help them on their road to recovery. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Commissioner Alderson. Next, we have the approval of the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
I have a first and second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Next, we have we have a couple of proclamations. The first one is the National Developmental Disability Awareness Month. All those present, please come forward for that.
Well, very good. Thank you all for being here this morning. So, this proclamation reads, whereas in 1987, President Ronald Reagan proclaimed that the month of March would be recognized as the National Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month, DDAM, to increase public awareness of the needs and contributions of individuals with developmental disabilities. And whereas individuals with developmental disabilities come from all racial, ethnic, educational, social, and economic backgrounds and have the power to enrich these communities through their diverse talents, perspectives, and experiences. And whereas by celebrating the achievements of those with developmental disabilities, we affirm their inherent value and worth and foster a community culture where every individual is recognized for their unique contributions and empowered to thrive. And whereas we also acknowledge and appreciate the dedication of caregivers, families, advocates, and community professionals in supporting people with developmental disabilities. And whereas the 2024 DDAM theme, A World of Opportunities, celebrates people working together to remove obstacles to help build a community that's committed to creating a world where everyone can do well and succeed. And now, therefore, we, the Commissioners of St. Mary's County, do hereby proclaim March 2024 as Developmental Disability Awareness Month in St. Mary's County. Let us come together to honor the inherent dignity and worth of every individual, to promote understanding, to reaffirm our commitment to creating opportunities, and to strive for a society where everyone has the opportunity to reach their fullest potential. This date, March 5th, 2024. Would you like to make some comments?
Sure, and thank you. Thank you, Commissioners, for your continued awareness and support of the Commission for People with Disabilities and our efforts to work toward inclusion and recognize and integrate individuals with disabilities into our community, and also the value that all these individuals add. We have many people here from the Commission. Thank you for coming, and we really appreciate your support of our work. So, anything? Oh, no, I don't have. No, nothing? Anyone? Okay, good.
Okay.
And,
And next we have Women's History Month. We'd like to please all the presenters to come forward. Laura Jenny Harris, Director of the Department of Aging and Human Services, Cynthia Brown, and the Commission for Women Representatives, everybody.
Ladies, we're just going to, gentlemen, I'm going to have you scooch out.
Who's taking the
You're going to
proclamation?
come right up in the middle then.
Whereas women across our great land have helped make our country stronger and better by improving our communities and playing a vital role in achieving justice and equal rights for all our citizens. And whereas women continue to strengthen our nation, our state, our county, and the world at large by excelling as leaders in all walks of life, including business, law, politics, family life, education, community service, science, medicine, and the arts. And whereas the brave women who wear the uniform of the United States Armed Forces are helping to lay the foundation of peace and freedom for generations to come. And whereas the purpose of Women's History Month is not to idealize women, but to collect and share stories of women's achievements that present an expanded view of the complexity and contradiction of living a full and purposeful life. And whereas the 2024 Women's History Month theme is Women Who Advocate for Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, honoring women in the community that strive to eliminate bias and discrimination in all facets of daily life in an effort to build a better future. And now, therefore, we, the Commissioners of St. Mary's County, do hereby proclaim the month of March 2024 Women's History Month. We call upon all citizens of St. Mary's County to observe this month through appropriate ceremonies and activities, and to remember throughout the year the many contributions made by women in this county, in the state of Maryland, and in the United States. This date, March 5, 2024.
Thank you, Commissioners, and good morning, everyone. We would like to invite you to our celebration will be on March 23rd, a brunch at the University Systems, University of Maryland in California, Maryland. for a brunch to honor all of our ladies and tomorrow's women as well in our county. For more information, please check out our website, and we hope to see you there at the brunch on Saturday again, March 23rd. Thank you. I'm sorry, can I add? We will have Dr. Brewster as our guest speaker. We will also have a posthumously recognition for our hometown shero, who is Franny Cullison, and we will be also honoring our Lifetime Achievement awardee, and that's Miss Mary Washington. Okay, thank you.
Good morning. Lori Jennings Harris, Director of the Department of Aging and Human Services. Just wanted to thank the commissioners for recognizing the contributions of women, not just today, but every day. And I wanted to thank Cynthia Brown, who is the Human Services Division Manager, for her support of the efforts of the Commission for Women, and the representatives here from the Commission for Women, as well as those who were not able to attend. So thank you so much.
I have nothing to add.
Okay, moving on, the next thing we have is we have a presentation from the College of Southern Maryland, State of the College. Dr. Yolanda Wilson, President, College of Southern Maryland. You all please come forward, and we look forward to your presentation. Good morning.
Good morning.
Uh-oh. Well, maybe they'll get here in time to at least be part of it, at least. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Great. So good to see all of you.
Well, thank you for taking the time to come up here, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I have with me two of my wonderful trustees, Trustee Kathy Allen to my left, Trustee Key Abel to my right.
Morning.
Good morning. So I'm so delighted to join you this morning for the State of the College for the College of Southern Maryland. As I begin my second year at the college, it is so heartwarming to see the excitement for what the future holds as we work together to build success in Southern Maryland. CSM has already achieved notable points of distinction, and I just want to mention several since we last met. We've been designated as the 4th best community college in Maryland and the nation's 4th best online associate degree in information technology and systems programming. We're recognized for having the best faculty among Maryland's community colleges and WalletHub.com. CSM is ranked the 36th best community college in the nation out of 677, and the 77th best college in the nation when it comes to career outcomes for our students, also by WalletHub. And we are enormously proud to be designated a military-friendly school for the 8th consecutive year, ranking among the top community colleges to offer post-secondary education for veterans and their spouses.
Wow.
These achievements reflect how important our county support is in helping us to make a difference in the lives of our students. Each student's success reflects the far reach of our collective impact, and even more, each student's success is proof positive that as we go far, we must go together. Governed by a board of trustees that represent each county equally, and 2 of our board members are here, this college is proud to serve Southern Maryland, and we're committed to supporting each location equitably in accordance with their unique needs and student population. This year, CSM celebrates 65 years of making an impact in and for our community. 65 years. Since September 17th, 1958, when the college first opened its doors, and in 1978, when the community college at St. Mary's was established, we have consistently demonstrated and delivered the return on investment of a community college education. And as we reap the significant benefits operating as a regional college within Southern Maryland, I especially want to acknowledge the foresight and work of our predecessors 24 years ago in creating the College of Southern Maryland. We are positioned to better serve our 14,329 credit and non-credit students, and we do so fairly, efficiently, strategically, and equitably according to their needs, regardless of campus location. In fact, our students are very fluid, moving between campuses. Almost 45% of CSM students attend 2 or more locations, and another 32% take online classes. CSM has 11 online programs of study and more than 26,000 enrollments in online courses alone. The growth of our online footprint has been possible due to the ability to assign resources and costs to a virtual campus that is tied to all 3 counties. Let me share more about our students, if I might. We know that nationally, community colleges enroll 40% of all undergraduate students, 40%. And 50% of those are Black, Hispanic, and Native American college students. These populations also include adults with some college but no degree, Indigenous, people of color, Asian Americans, and Pacific Islanders, members of the LGBTQ+IA community, households living below the federal poverty threshold are ALICE community members, parenting students, caregivers, the homeless, immigrants and refugees, those who have been justice impacted, and those in recovery. We are truly honored and privileged to serve each student that has a rich and diverse background, who come to our institution seeking knowledge, better skills, and most of all, a better life. Our State of the College video helps to illustrate our focus on student success, and you will be able to hear more about these students and their many accomplishments of this past year. Let's take a look.
Since I began serving as CSM's president, we have focused on 3 core pillars to build success together: student success, employee success, and community success. We've been deliberate in our efforts to actively listen and reflect, reimagine, refocus, and rebuild our relationships with our students, each other, and our regional partners. We will share some of the successes we've had in our 3 core pillars and in our efforts to build collaborative communities and serve our region as a connector and a convener.
Michaela Jade Butler, highest honors.
Last spring, I got to share the commencement stage with both my fellow CSM graduates and the inaugural early college class of high school seniors from 4 Charles County Public Schools. These early college program students attended CSM in the fall of 2022 and spring of 2023 to complete 11 college classes, earn their General Studies Transfer Certificate, and graduate high school with their first year of the CSM General Studies program completed. Today, CSM offers early college to students from every public high school in Charles and Calvert counties and continues to partner with Calvert, Charles, and St. Mary's County Public School systems to make college more accessible to high school students through dual enrollment.
Charles County Public Schools is proud to have worked with CSM to launch the region's first early college program. Early college now includes nearly 200 juniors and seniors from all 7 high schools in Charles County. We are thrilled to collaborate with CSM and transform lives, broaden college accessibility, and introduce our high school students to their regional community college in a meaningful way.
As committed educators in this Tri-County region, St. Mary's County Public Schools and the College of Southern Maryland have the same goal: to create transformative opportunities for our students that unlock their full potential.
Early college also targets the college and career readiness criteria outlined in the Blueprint for Maryland's future legislation.
Calvert County's high school students will experience the rigor of a college course, earn transferable college credits, save money, and receive the benefits of being a College of Southern Maryland student, including free tutoring and advising.
We join the Calvert County and Charles County Public School systems signing memorandums of understanding with CSM and the Tri-County Council for Southern Maryland.
CSM homeschool program also continues to grow exponentially. Since opening doors in fall of 2019, we've had 40 enrollments to now over 400 enrollments.
The homeschool program here at College of Southern Maryland has been a great addition to my son's homeschooling adventures, and my son has flourished with his classmates, with the instructors. The community that we've built here for students is all inclusive. It's a comfortable place for students to feel at home together, experience the classroom environment. There's so many parents that are choosing to homeschool now, but then so many homeschool parents that feel lost or don't know where to go or can't find additional resources. I've loved having the ability to build a community and support group with all of the other parents here as well.
The faculty here at CSM not only represents years of academic professionalism, our faculty members come with a tremendous amount of professional experience as well. This includes backgrounds in military and government operations, industry experience in engineering, research, and development, years of experience on the front line as first responders in law enforcement, medical health, all in both the U.S. and global environments. Through appointment to state commissions on workforce development or discipline standardizing bodies between 2- and 4-year institutions, to being interviewed as experts in their fields and giving keynote speeches at their own alma maters. Our faculty consistently carry the message that CSM is the place to be.
CSM wanted and needed to elevate our diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging work. And in spring of 2023, we announced that the Division of Human Resources and Organizational Development would be reorganized and report directly to President Wilson to accomplish this task. The division was renamed the Division of People, Culture, and Equity to focus on and support employee recruitment, employee engagement, employee retention, and the overall functions of human resources. Furthering CSM's commitment to people and organizational culture, CSM Distinguished Professor for Equity and Education, Daphne Powell, along with the Diversity, Equity, Inclusivity, and Belonging Faculty Leadership Team, completed their first year of awareness activities.
CSM held its first Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging and Accessibility Conference last spring entitled Walk a Mile in Our Awareness, and it was a huge success. I am grateful to my DEIB team and all who attended to help kick off this multi-year professorship by creating a safe space for everyone to talk and reflect on our own personal journeys as well as show empathy and understanding for others. Our next steps include bringing a deeper awareness of DEIB and accessibility to our faculty.
The Nonprofit Institute at the College of Southern Maryland returned to an in-person annual conference for the first time since the onset of the pandemic and saw record-breaking attendance and participation. CSM President Dr. Yolanda Wilson spoke eloquently about the collective impact model and the need for all of us to create a shared vision and vibrancy metrics with our communities.
Imagine the results if the thought leadership in this room worked together to do a broad needs-based assessment, created shared goals and metrics, decided to share physical and financial resources, and created a shared timeline with key performance indicators that represented the diverse demographics of the populations we desperately desire to serve and who desperately need us.
When Dr. Wilson introduced the idea of CSM really digging deep to bring our businesses and nonprofits and community resource groups together to work collaboratively in a collective impact model, she was speaking straight to my heart and to the heart and vision of Leadership Southern Maryland. LSM's vision is Southern Maryland leaders united for positive community impact. So for that and other reasons, Leadership Southern Maryland and the College of Southern Maryland are natural partners in the work of transforming lives and building a stronger Southern Maryland.
CSM Center for Health Sciences opened its doors to students in January of 2023. The center is an impressive display of health sciences programming aimed to help students attain career readiness and creating a strong workforce pipeline. We have created a new beginning in healthcare education in Southern Maryland.
The caliber of education that is occurring here in this collaborative space is a game changer for the quality of healthcare in Southern Maryland. When I joined other CEOs and leaders of the area hospitals for a special tour and discussion surrounding collaborating with College of Southern Maryland in a four-way partnership, I have to tell you, we were all pretty excited because we were all focused on providing exceptional patient care in Southern Maryland and providing care for a lifetime. And the College of Southern Maryland has a full seat at our table.
CSM began working with Calvert Internal Medicine Group late fall 2022 on the development of a medical assisting registered apprenticeship. With strategic partnerships throughout the regional healthcare industry, CSM has been responsive to critical workforce needs, training over 20 patient care technicians for Charles Regional Medical Center in the past 2 years, and developing a community health worker training that will be launched spring of 2024. CSM certified nursing and geriatric nursing assistant students work side by side with healthcare professionals day to day in our region's nursing homes, learning and providing support to our senior and aging populations. Another area that CSM makes strides in is in our partnership with area businesses on the western shores of Charles County. More than 400 students and their families packed the Velocity Center last spring to get a hands-on look at some of the exciting arts and science activities and opportunities available in their backyard during CSM's second annual Art of Innovation, Science, Technology, Engineering and Arts Mathematics Festival. The Velocity Center's Executive Director, Leslie Quattlebaum, was recently appointed to the Charles County Military Alliance. This allows CSM to further shore up our initiatives to have collaborative goals and strategies in our communities to benefit every generation.
The relationship between the Patuxent Partnership and the College of Southern Maryland provides another example of CSM's long and rich history of building a strong STEM workforce pipeline for our military partners in the region. The Patuxent Partnership established a Pathways Scholarship to support students who pursue an associate degree in CSM's mechanical or electrical engineering programs and then transfer to the University of Maryland.
This is such an incredible opportunity for the students in the Tri-County area to get an education, learn the skills for a career, and contribute to the economy of Southern Maryland. Workforce development is economic development, and the College of Southern Maryland is the economic engine for Southern Maryland.
Building a bridge from where students are coming from and creating pathways to where students are going to is what we do at CSM. And we recognize that work of this magnitude cannot be done in isolation. It must be done collaboratively and requires working alongside our community and industry partners to make a positive impact in the lives of those we are honored and privileged to serve. We believe the state of the College of Southern Maryland is strong and getting even stronger. And as we look ahead, we ask you to join us in this new year to view and understand our community in new ways and to see CSM as your faithful partner, because together we can collectively help individuals and their families achieve upward mobility and help communities flourish and thrive socially and economically. And together, we can build success in Southern Maryland.
Very nice.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The State of the College
Grow your customer
captures
base.
just some of the
Expand
many great accomplishments over the last 11 months. And this look back reflects the amazing faculty, staff, and our partners who have really rallied with us around student success, enabling us to make great strides in the last year, and really supporting our three core pillars of student success at the core, employee success, and community success. Now, as we look forward, so we looked back, so now as we look forward to our next strategic plan that we're going to launch this summer, we will focus on three core pillars of access, momentum, and mobility. Access, momentum, and mobility. So access is looking at ways we can serve our shifting demographics and creating opportunities to improve access, many different points of entry for all of our community members, adult returning students, those who are relocating to the area, some of our shifting demographics in our population, our Latino population, etc. Momentum is examining, once we've created those access points and we have our members joining us on our campus, how do we retain those students? How do we put supports and resources around those students, both in the classroom and outside the classroom, to make sure that they're able to stay with us and complete their goals? And then mobility, the third piece of this pillar, is the goal to provide programs, God bless you, programs that will lead our students to social and economic mobility. They leave better than the way they came to us. So when it comes to access, the first pillar, the latest National Student Clearinghouse research data, which is the data that we look at, that center reported that community college enrollment rose nationwide for the first time in more than a decade last spring, because nationally our enrollment had been down. It rose by 8% in the state of Maryland and by 3% at CSM. I am delighted to report that these trends have continued across each subsequent semester through today, representing the first time we've seen a consistent increase in enrollment in 5 years for CSM. I also want to acknowledge the long-term commitment of the St. Mary's County Commissioners. You've tremendously helped us increase our access and momentum for our students. You've provided scholarships since 2005, and on behalf of the 907 St. Mary's County scholarship recipients, we applaud your unwavering support. 907 scholarship recipients, so thank you. Your scholarships have changed people's lives. And I'm honored to introduce you to one of the 29 students that you helped through the Commissioner Care Scholarship this year. Genesis, who's with us. He's our president of the Student Government Association. He represents us at the state level. He is kind and gracious and responsive. And no matter when we ask Genesis to be somewhere, Genesis always shows up for CSM. We could not be more proud of Genesis. He carries a lot of different hats. He's a big brother, as we saw, carrying his sister to school this morning. He works. He serves on SGA. He's a nursing student, and we know that anytime you take a pathway in the health sciences, it's challenging to do that. And most of all, he's just a great leader overall. So Genesis, will you please share some thoughts about how this scholarship has impacted you?
And welcome, Genesis. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning to all of you. My name is Genesis Ingo, and I'm a nursing student at the College of Southern Maryland and the president of the Student Government Association. First, I'm glad to be with you all to share about my life and how you helped me to continue achieving my dream to pursue my higher education and serve my community one day. My family moved here in Maryland 4 years ago, and because we just are starting a new life at that time, we don't have that much of financial stability, and I have to start planning again for my future. I didn't have that much of help from my father because he didn't finish any college degree and we do not know any knowledge about higher education here in US. So I have to step up and learn everything for myself. I think that is a struggle of being the eldest child and first generation college student is that we have to learn and support ourselves. So that is why I choose to study at CSM because they told me that it's affordable and it's good for me if I'm still navigating things for my future. My dream is to help people and to be an agent of change like all of you. I am very glad about CSM flexible mode of learning because I'm a very busy person who has a lot of things to do in life and CSM just accommodate people like me that have jobs and family to take care of. From my first day at CSM, I have attended classes at all the college campuses and online because I needed to attend classes that were compatible with my schedule. And most of my classes are specialized because I'm in a nursing program. For instance, I took anatomy physiology classes and microbiology classes at the Prince Frederick campus. I took my statistics and chemistry and 2 other classes at the La Plata campus. And I took many of my general education classes and professional nursing classes at the Leonardtown campus. The rest of my classes, I took it online. Now that I have begun my nursing studies, I attend classes at the CSM Regional Hughesville campus. The new Center for Health Science is located. At that campus, me and my classmates have an incredible opportunity to experience a real-life learning environment with input and guidance from expert healthcare providers from all 3 counties. CSM offered services beyond our expectation, and plus the amazing scholarship that we are able to get. For example, during my first semester, I received a letter that I am part of the pilot program for Achieving the Dream. I'm so happy about it because I don't have to worry about how I'm going to pay for my first year because we don't have that much of financial stability. Then on my second semester, I received the St. Mary's Commissioner Scholarship, and I am thankful for it because it helped me to cover my books expenses and other things that I needed for my classes. I didn't have to think that hard on how I'm going to budget my daily expenses plus my college expenses too. And I don't have to worry about graduating with a great amount of debt because of this annual scholarship that you have given to me. After I finish my nursing degree, I hope to continue and finish my Bachelor of Science in Nursing in GW or Stevenson University. Then I hope to continue working at one of the local hospitals to gain experience and to practice my expertise before going to specialized field of nursing like community nursing, surgical, pediatrics, or in leadership. I do not have a clear path at the moment because every semester in nursing program opened me to a new specialty that I could be interested to do after acquiring my license, and I have multiple goals that I want to succeed in, and one of them might occur before other goals. Another goal I might pursue after obtaining my degree and license is to volunteer in a community that needs a medical assistance. This is because I wanted to learn how to be an efficient nurse who can think beyond conventional boundaries of availability and comfort. Yet another goal is to continue my education while practicing my nursing degree and earn a degree in political science. I aspire to join politics to represent the nurses in healthcare and to be their voice. I also wanted to achieve this degree because I wanted to help people and be part of the initiative that brings out positive change in the community. Thank you all.
Money was well spent. Thank you very much, and continue with your education.
Thank you.
I mean, you'd be well needed in the nursing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Genesis. We are so hopeful about our future because you are in it. So thank you so much for your leadership. Thank you for keeping on, and thank you for doing what you do best, and that's shining brightly. So we're very proud of you. Thank you, Genesis.
Thank you.
So as we consider momentum, we recognize our students can lose momentum due to situations outside of the classroom. Genesis mentioned a few just a moment ago. And to that end, we created a position very early on in my tenure that champions students' non-academic needs. That position is a student needs and outreach coordinator. They serve as a liaison between students and the many wraparound services available to them, not just at CSM, but also from our community partners. So historically, if students had a textbook cost need, or they had a question about housing, or they had a food insecurity, they would be sent to different people on campus. And we know that sometimes students get, that it's too much to go to 3 or 4 or 5 different people. So we created one position that champions and knows all of the resources. So they have one kind of coach, mentor, champion they can go to for any of those needs. So this includes helping them with textbooks and fees, housing, food insecurities, clothing, childcare, transportation, and other related items. I'm also especially pleased for CSM and Charles County government to have partnered in piloting a new bus route in September that transports students to the front doors of CSM Center for Trades and Energy Training and the Center for Health Sciences at the Hughesville campus. The first full month of operation was October. Some of you may be aware that we did not have transportation that went down that road to those 2 facilities, so students would have to walk to the Shell gas station that was on that corner to catch a bus, and then walk back down and walk back. So that was a safety hazard and not conducive, of course, to the environment we wanted for our students. So this transporting bus that we entered into an agreement with started in October, and ridership data since shows that it's been growing ever since, from 62 in October to 95 riders in November. The ridership in December was 45, but we only operated for the couple of weeks we were open before we closed for the holiday break. So we're glad to see that CSM Connector Bus, is what we're calling it, joins the existing bus lines between Charles, Calvert, and St. Mary's counties and provides free services for students as they move between all the CSM campuses via quicker routes. Okay, so providing free and dependable transportation was another goal for us, and it's an access issue and a momentum issue. So as Genesis mentioned, as students have to travel between campuses, they're able to have transportation to do that. We are grateful as well to work with our partners to support our students with access and momentum. And as we see in the State of the College video right here in St. Mary's County, we're excited to work with the Patuxent Partnership, or TPP, and the Southern Maryland Navy Alliance. So in fact, just a few weeks ago, we celebrated CSM's new cybersecurity immersive labs. One opened at the Leonardtown campus a few weeks ago, and in the fall, we opened one at the Prince Frederick campus. These are state-of-the-art investments in our students and the region's future workforce. So working with TPP, CSM is now able to provide additional cybersecurity, cloud computing, and computer science educational outreach activities with area high schools and community organizations. The labs are named in honor of Barbara Ives for her work with the Patuxent Partnership and the Southern Maryland Navy Alliance that helped us secure funding for the Southern Maryland 2030 Workforce Development Initiative. We're excited for our students and our industry partners in making a positive impact in the IT area. So as we look ahead and we begin the process of building CSM's new 5-year strategic plan, we have a greater opportunity to position CSM as stronger engines of social and economic mobility. We're honored to be the workforce pipeline, as Bonnie Green said, for all of Southern Maryland. And building pathways for economic prosperity begins with not only understanding our market, but also understanding our students. Students like Genesis, who are our future workforce. I especially want to share your ongoing support of CSM during the Maryland legislative session. Some issues that we are focusing on collectively on behalf of the college's community colleges, 16, are in the legislative agenda that you have before you. Of the several noted, I draw your attention to one specifically, which is supporting the Maryland Association of Community Colleges operating requests at the state level to fully fund the CADE funding formula at 29% per FTEs. As a community college, we're asked to do so much, from workforce development to supporting the Maryland's Blueprint legislation by providing post-college and career opportunities to high school students at a discounted rate. The governor's budget includes the fourth largest cut to community colleges in the history of the CADE funding formula, a reduction of $22 million overall and $1.3 million to CSM in particular. Now more than ever, we need these resources to support our growing enrollment. And we are continuing to work hard over the remainder of the session to maintain our CADE funding. There are several items that we did not note specifically in the 2024 legislative agenda that I'd like to share that we're going to delve more into our strategic plan. First is campus safety. During convocation in August, we focused on campus safety with presentations by our local law enforcement, some from St. Mary's County, as well as breakout sessions for our staff and faculty to become more familiar with our CSM Safe app and our safety protocols. We are always assessing our campus safety presence at all of our campuses and identifying where and how to expand our tools and our support. We're also looking to support our changing demographic populations, including how to expand our bilingual presence as we help prepare and position diverse demographics for the workforce. These will be areas you'll be hearing more about as we go forward and we fold into our next strategic plan. And as I'm closing, we're in the midst of preparing a grant proposal to develop 2 FAA aviation degree pathways that will provide students with the opportunity to gain the skills and knowledge to test for in-demand certifications necessary for careers in the aviation industry. These 2 pathways include a professional pilot license and aviation maintenance technology. That includes a pathway from the Flight Academy at St. Mary's Ryken, where my son is a freshman, to CSM, to our University of Maryland partners. So we're so excited about the future before us, and we're hopeful that we'll be able to gain funding to secure that aviation pathway. I promise you that the state of your community college is good, and we remain steadfast in our work so that our students will live, train, and remain in our communities. As we collectively commit to improve access, momentum, and mobility for our students and our workforce, we're reminded that we do more than educate. Together with strong partners like you, our county commissioners, we make an impact. We make a difference throughout Southern Maryland, and we could not be more grateful for all of your support. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very good.
Any questions, anybody?
Just one quick observation. We're talking about the community success pillar. I think it'd be wrong to pass up this opportunity to acknowledge the great partnership we've had with CSM with the Leonardtown Wellness and Aquatics Center. And it's something that your students are able to utilize, but the community is able to utilize also. And I think that's just a really good partnership right there, and want to see it continue.
Thank you so much. Well, we value that. We appreciate that partnership, Art, and so many others. And we want to figure out how we can sustain that moving forward. So thank you for that, Commissioner. Appreciate that.
Dr. Wilson, I just had a couple of quick questions. Thank you. So this 14,329 students, how many come from the different counties? Is it 4,000 from each? I mean, can you tell me how that breakup is?
You know, I have that on the slide, and can I follow up with you? I don't want to misquote and misspeak, but I can break that down for you by county.
Just interested to know how many came from St. Mary's. Now, you talked about a relationship between the St. Mary's County Public School System and the community college, because I know a lot of students go to the community college to get additional credits towards graduation. How does that funding requirement work? Does the school system, the public school system, pay the community college for the student to go there? I've often wondered, like if somebody wants to go and get classes at the community college, should they be paying their own tuition as the kids go there who aren't in the school system? How's that work?
Sure, that's a great question. And so with the Maryland Blueprint recently, with that legislation, it's a 75% cost that the high schools or the school system pays for that student's tuition, and then there's a 25% state waiver. And that was for classes taught both in the high schools and classes taught at our campuses, college-level classes. We've been in recent conversations, the superintendents and myself, to look at that because that's created a strain on our school partners. Okay. And we are very much so serious about this access pillar. Okay. We don't want any financial constraints that we can help mitigate cause any high school student not to have an opportunity to get a college education. Okay.
Good.
So I'm very passionate about that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, I interrupted you. I apologize. No, my last question would be how many high school students you have going there?
So we have in Charles County, we have over 500 and something students that are in our dual enrollment pathway and over 200 and something students in early college. In our St. Mary's County Public Schools, we have over 500 and something students in our dual enrollment pathways, maybe even higher. And I don't know if you know that, Trustee Allen, but I know it's well over 500 students who are taking some of our dual enrollment courses. And it's a little less than that in the Calvert County, but they've just started their early college last fall, so we anticipate that going higher.
So those 500 students, the county or the public school system were responsible for 75% of their tuition?
That's correct, and
Okay,
a
thank
25% student waiver. But again, Commissioner Hewitt, we're in conversations about that now to see how we can identify a more balanced approach to that. So we're looking at 75-25 if they're taking classes at our campuses. So our teachers are teaching it, it's at our locations. And then if it's being taught college classes by high school teachers in the high schools, we're looking at a 50-50 formula.
Well, tell me, excuse me, does that mean if they're taking a class in high school, they're paying 75% to the college? That doesn't seem fair.
Yeah, if they're taking classes, they're college classes in the high school teachers are teaching it. The blueprint legislates that it's 75-25 no matter where those college classes are being taught.
Okay.
If I might just add in here, we actually have about 900 students in St. Mary's who are, that's my understanding, who are taking, who are dual enrolled, and they take the classes, many of them take the classes in our high school buildings taught by our teachers. We have had a memorandum of understanding with the college where we were paying 50% of the tuition if the student has been taking classes in our buildings taught by our teachers.
So it's only 50%?
It's been 50%. This past year, it's been 75%. In an agreement the superintendent made with Dr. Wilson and CSM. We're looking at that again because that's going to be very difficult. The blueprint also restricts those funds to students who are identified as college and career ready. We have never, as a school system, have never restricted our students to having to have that designation, meaning they have to be in either their junior year or their senior year of high school because a student isn't designated as college and career ready until the end of 10th grade. And so it is a moving target for us that we are trying to work our way through to honor the blueprint legislation and to conform with that. But we would prefer not to have to restrict access to students. And so what that looks like, we're still in the discussion phase, as I understand it. But it is important, I think, for me as a school board member, as well as a trustee, to make sure that we are opening doors and opportunities for students and not closing doors. So what that looks like, we're working on that. But we have many, many students who are dual enrolled and who are very successful at that. And whether they complete high school and continue at CSM or complete high school and go on either to a career field right out of high school or go on to a four-year program, they're coming out with college credits.
Okay, well, I think the goal is good. It just doesn't make sense that someone's teaching in high school is paying the college for that. Excuse me, I hate to be so blunt, but that's my assessment. I've heard this from the chairman of the Board of Education, that the schools were teaching the student, but the college was getting the money. That didn't make sense. Thank you.
Well, I tell you, the Maryland Blueprint has some interesting parameters in it, so it's not CSM's determination of that. It's the Blueprint legislation, so we're wrestling with this statewide.
All right.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Thank you.
I had a question for you. Can you share some thoughts with us, if you have any, about the strategic plan possibly for Lexington Park specifically, because there's a tremendous need for economic development there. Is the college looking at that in any way, or?
We absolutely are, Commissioner Ostro, as it relates to the access pillar. So Lexington Park is one of those areas that we're thinking about. How do we take the college to the community versus expecting the community to come to the Leonardtown campus, and what do those access points look like? So we absolutely are thinking about Lexington Park in particular as one of those areas to bring the college to them. So that would mean, do we have a site that we can rent or partner with someone and offer courses out there? So that's part of our strategic planning vision and focus, is to support Lexington Park.
I'd like to offline have a broader conversation with you about that.
Would love it. Would love it.
I know
Thank
we
you.
keep managing to miss each other schedule-wise.
Yes,
So.
I would love that. I would love that. Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Anybody else?
We want to thank you very much for being here today.
So much.
I want to let you
Appreciate
know
it.
that we oppose any cuts to the College of Southern Maryland. We sent a letter from all
Thank
the
you for
commissioners.
that, Commissioner
I also
Gallagher.
had a personal audience with the governor several weeks ago, expressing to him that CSM is not just a college in our area, it's workforce development, it's our economic engine part of it, everything. And I said, it's wrong for you to be cutting this. They looked at me like surprised, but I said, no. I said, you didn't cut the Beijing University, why are you cutting the CSM?
Thank you so much,
So
Commissioner Gallagher.
I'm hoping that helped out some. I don't know. It's still not known yet. We hope this will change as the legislation goes through. I think a lot of the legislators don't want this to happen, so we'll see what happens.
Thank you for that.
I hope we can help you in any way we can
Support.
to take care of this if you do get cut, but we're hoping not.
So appreciate it. Thank you for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for your
Looking forward to
advocacy.
seeing you during your upcoming inauguration here.
Looking forward to seeing you there. I'm so glad you're able to come. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all very
everyone.
much.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay, next we're going right into county administrator time.
Thank you,
Mr. Weisskopf.
Commissioner, President Guy. And we'll start, as we always do, with the draft agendas for March 12th and March 19th. On March 12th, you will have a reception for the boards, committees, and commissions, volunteers at 8:30, followed by our normal start time at 9 a.m. We'll have two proclamations, one for National Social Work Month and the other for Equal Pay Month, followed by a presentation at 9:15 for the boards, committees, and commissions volunteer recognition ceremony, followed by county administrator time, Office of the County Attorney legislative updates, commissioner time, adjourn, and have a budget work session at 1:30. On March 19th, you'll start at your normal time and place, followed by a proclamation for National Agricultural Day, followed by county administrator time, Office of the County Attorney legislative updates, commissioner time, adjourn, and then have a budget work session at 1:30. And starting with today's agenda, the first up is from the Department of Finance with the St. Mary's County Metropolitan Commission, Department of Housing and Community Development, DHCD loan application package, joined by CFO Jeanette Cudmore, George Erickson, Metcom Director, Sterling, CFOs, we have everybody.
Morning, Commissioners. In accordance with Section 113-2C of the St. Mary's County, Maryland Code of Ordinances, when the St. Mary's County Metropolitan Commission plans to borrow money, any money, the County of Commissioners of St. Mary's County shall review and approve any loan application before the Commission submits the loan application to the lender. We have George, Patty, and Christy here to provide the details. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeanette. Good
Morning.
morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
As promised to you back in January 23rd, we would be back with some eligible projects for DHCD, or Department of Economic and Community Development, loan applications. There are 6 water projects and 4 sewer projects listed. They're in attachment 3. These were all part of prior capital improvement projects that were approved by this board as well as our board and also recommended by the Planning Commission for approval. DHCD issues bonds on a more regular basis, much more regular basis than MDE. They're a lot faster on the turnaround. In fact, we got a call from DHCD and they indicated that they wanted to go to closing by April of this year.
Wow.
They work for many municipalities and many other counties in the state of Maryland, so when they get enough projects that are eligible, they make that call and say we're ready to go to sell bonds. We were part of that call, and they asked us to come up with projects that not only were eligible, but that were what we call ripe for consideration, meaning they're ready to be built or have been front-funded for construction or front-funded for design. Included in the packages, and the good news today is they let us use the short form. It's not the first time we've been back. The short form's only 6 pages, but they ask you to include a lot of attachments. You'll see in that package biographies, a copy of our enabling legislation, which they wanted copies of, maps of the project area, also a drawdown schedule. And you note from the drawdown schedule, we plan to have almost all these loans, or this particular loan, drawn down by the end of 2025. So these projects are ready to be built or are under construction at this time. The loans that we have been getting in the past from DHCD have ranged anywhere between 2.8 and 4.3. I understand the county just went out and got somewhere near 4%. We're hoping to get something similar. That's about all I had as far as questions go. If you have specific questions about the specific projects. Also wanted to bring something up from our last meeting. We came to you last month with an MDE application, and I wanted to let you know that all the prior loans that we've ever had with MDE have been drawn down completely, so we don't have any prior MDE loans. I failed to mention that last time. Your package has a list of our current loan applications. It shows about a $600,000 balance. Since we prepared this memo, we've made our final draw on that particular project. So we don't have any outstanding MDE loans at this time. This is for DHCD, though.
Mr. Erickson, could you give us kind of just a little overview of the projects that are included in this loan?
We absolutely can. You want to do that, Christy? You want me to do
Yep,
that?
nope, I sure can. So the first one I have on my list is Bay Ridge Well. That's actually under construction right now. We're about 10% complete, so that's a new well in the Bay Ridge community to serve Lexington Park, so that'll tie into the greater Lexington Park system.
And thank you for the easement through Art Shepherd, so we could get to the property without affecting the community that's adjacent to that, so we appreciate that.
Good.
And then the next one is the Grandview Haven Well. Again, just another well in that system just to better serve that community in case one goes down. There's a backup for redundancy. And that one's about 90% complete construction-wise. And the next one is Greenbrier Water Storage Tank. So that's a water storage tank. The Greenbrier subdivision actually is a standalone water system. It's not connected to the Lexington Park system, so that'll help with fire flow and better serving capacity needs in that area. And that one is also under construction and about 75% complete, so it should be done hopefully by the summer. And then just stop me if you have any specific questions. Sorry, I don't want to. Then the grinder pump replacement project. So we have, George might be able to tell us how many exactly grinder pumps we have in the system, 1,800
We have
or
over
so?
2,000 grinder pumps, and unlike Calvert County that rescinded their responsibility, which sometimes I wish we would, we have the responsibility and authority over grinder pumps, which can be problematic at times.
And with grinder, you're talking about the individual ones at individual
The individual
homes.
grinder pumps. Whenever the house can't feed the sewer line by gravity, we need a grinder pump to push it up into the system. They cost about $17,000 each to replace, so we can only do about 40 a year. They last about 25 to 30 years, but if you do the simple math, you're on a constant cycle. So this is a never-ending project. We probably could be more aggressive, but we try to keep it affordable, not only to us because we have other capital needs, but also to our ratepayers. So we do about 40 grinder pump replacements a year.
Damn.
And then the Hunding Quarter Well, again, similar to the Grandview Haven Well, just a second well in that system. That also is a standalone system down in the Callaway area, so that'll give redundancy to that system. The inflow and infiltration, so I&I as we call it. We do relining of sewer main. We do manhole relining, so to make sure there's no water, stormwater coming into our system, so we're only treating the sewer. Right now, they're working on Route 5 in the Great Mills area, so that area is under construction. I think should be complete soon.
Now, to just give you an idea of the expense, just in the Great Mills area alone, the contract we released was over $800,000. It involves the cleaning, and it's an in-situ form lining that goes into the sewers, and then all the laterals are individually cut back in. Manholes are also reparged and redone. We spend what we believe is an inordinate amount of money on chemicals and time treating fresh stormwater that's getting into the system, especially into these old systems. And in Great Mills, we've identified a lot of I&I, and the project that we're undertaking this year is going to address a lot of that for the Marley Taylor plant. So,
The next project I have is King Kennedy Well and Ground Storage Tank. So the well is complete. That was our phase 1. Our phase 2 is the ground storage tank. Again, just capacity in that area for fire flow. And then we have a sister project to that, the Loveville Road water line replacement, which will go through and replace all the water lines in that subdivision, which is the next one. And that project is out to bid right now, the water line replacement. We're hoping to award in April, and it's probably about a year duration. Water tank inspections and painting. We are looking at doing work on our standpipe that we have in Great Mills Road, on Great Mills Road, to either raise it or figure out what's going on so we can get it taller to match the height of the new Hickory Hills Tower. Right now we have a valve there, but because it's not as tall, we can't get as much capacity out of that system as we'd hope. So kind of a phase of the Hickory Hills project. Wycomico #1 wastewater pump station. Right now that was a generator replacement, and they're looking to replace the package pump station there. Those are both on order, so they should be in hopefully in the next year. And then same for Wycomico too, same. The new electric has been upgraded, and they're just waiting for the grinder pump or the pump station and the generator to come in. And that's it. Any specific questions?
No, thank you.
Nope.
Problem.
Very good. Very good. Okay, I had a few for you. First, and they're mainly probably Ms. Stegman, so you may want to grab your microphone so we can hear you.
Oh, sorry. There we go.
Have to put a little bit closer.
Tell me, who's your bond counsel and financial advisor? Is it the same one as the county?
No, our financial advisor is Davenport, who I'm sure
You're familiar with Davenport.
Yeah, the county's familiar with Davenport Investments. And our bond counsel is Whiteford Taylor Preston.
Have you put those services out for rebid? Because I know you used to be with Davenport. We used to be with Davenport, but we found a better deal. Have you put those services out for?
We have put out the bond counsel. That goes out every 4 years.
Okay.
Our last debt policy study was done in 2018. We have used Davenport for when we did a refunding about 2 years ago.
Right.
But we have not put the services back out for.
Okay. I was just wondering about a term, something of scale, when you, economy of scale, if you go with the county, if you piggyback on us, does it make more sense for you to be in that direction is where I'm going. Okay. These DHCD loans have always concerned me.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, what I was told years ago is that DHCD loans, once they're made, they have a principal and interest payment due 180 days later. Is that true?
Yes, about 6 months.
Okay, well, 180 days, 6 months, yeah.
Mhm.
So once you get the loan, you're going to start paying principal and interest.
Yes.
But are you able to draw the money from DHCD before you have the permit?
Yes, so as soon as they close on the loan, we'll have an immediate draw.
Oh, so you get the money right away?
We'll have an immediate draw of what we've expended based on prior intent resolution. So it's reimbursable. We are going to draw over $2 million at the day of closing.
Okay.
And then we expect, based on our scheduling, we should be able to fully draw, as George said, by the end of 2025.
Because on Section 2 of your project information, part here of your addendum. Anyway, it talks to a draw schedule, and this draw schedule goes out to 2026. So will you be, if you have the money loaned in 2024, but you're not using till 2026,
Right.
you'll be paying interest 180 days after you borrow it. So that interest is building up. Now, I know they have a interest that they'll pay on that money that they're holding for us before you're ready to take it. Is that true? I saw it here somewhere.
In interest that they're holding on it.
Yes.
On it.
On the funds that they're holding on to, they're going to pay you interest on that.
Yes.
Okay, that has always been pretty low in my opinion, but I don't know what the current rates are. Do you know?
I don't know, but I know we work with DHCD and have to be careful of arbitrage that
Yes,
we
that's
aren't-
what I'm
yeah.
concerned about, arbitrage. Because when I looked into this back in 2014 after got elected, there was a $51,500,000 undrawn debt.
Yes.
And that arbitrage was costing the county, or at least the ratepayers of Metcom, about $2,117,000 a year. That's government fat. So anyway, I was interested to know, though, do you have some kind of idea? Because it looks like your big draws are in 25. You got 1.8, 1.2, 1.3, 1.2. That's a lot of money. So do you know what kind of arbitrage you have? Can you?
I do not know.
Okay.
No.
All right. Let me go back. I got some more yellow space here. Attachment 2 on your DHCD loan timelines and processes. I got pages 1, and this is on page 1 of 3. It talks to, note, the interest on the DHCD loans is paid in the full amount of the loan, but is partially offset by interest DHCD earns when they borrow and hold the undrawn monies on behalf of their clients. So they're actually accumulating interest on our loan?
Yes, on the undrawn portion.
And that interest is passed on to us?
Yes.
Okay, but we don't know what that arbitrage is?
No.
Okay.
They do that annually. Charlie Day from DHCD reaches out to us annually with that amount on, so we won't know what that, on the 11 million, it's historically after the fact, they advise us of the amount.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on that.
Okay.
On page 2 of 3, it talks to a construction contract. Once the loan is closed, the project is advertised. So I guess what I'm trying to understand, do you put out your own monies to understand how much the project will cost, so that way you can make the loan for it, and then you advertise the project? How can you make a loan on something you don't know how much it's going to cost?
We use the engineer's estimate.
Okay, so you do that in-house?
Right.
Okay.
And the designs are typically front-funded by us, so we'll get an engineer's estimate based on the actual design as opposed to boilerplate, X per square foot or X per transfer station or X per linear feet of roadway. We actually have the estimate for that particular.
That's something you do in-house?
With a consultant.
With our consultant.
Okay. So attachment 3, capital improvement projects, I got the Bay Ridge project. Now, excuse me, what came to my attention a while back in a meeting with the people who want to do Stewart's Grant, it's 1,200 and some houses or some big demand like that. They talked about trying to do their own internal system over there. The term I would use is package plant. And they talked about a roughly $5 million investment on their part to be able to take the strain off of Marley Taylor, because they'd have to pump it all the way to Marley Taylor. Now, have you looked at any kind of, I'll use the term cost sharing, or any kind of partnerships in that regard, that we would let these people build their own package plant for their 1,200?
We've actually looked at standalone systems.
We haven't talked with that community regarding any cost share arrangement that I'm aware of.
Okay, so that hadn't come to you?
No, sir.
All right. Well, they had talked to me about it. On the grinder replacement pumps, you stretch those out over 5 years, and you have your cost. Is it? Let me think. Is it wise to borrow money you won't spend for 5 years, or can you just borrow it as you need it?
Grinder pumps, that's entirely expended each year.
Expended each year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Your inflow in this I&I you were talking about.
Yes, sir.
Now, that's something MS4 is should be very on top of. You shouldn't be getting stormwater into your Marley Taylor plant. Is there some kind of coordination between our Department of Public Works and Metcom as to how we keep that separation?
I think Metcom is part of the ongoing discussions on MS4 and stormwater management. So what we would do is we would simply submit reports on our levels of success to DPW upon request.
I mean, are you having success with that?
This is our first huge endeavor with specific I&I. We're doing an I&I characterization study in the next 4 months, which is intended to incorporate the entire system that serves Marley Taylor. We're going to know a lot more at that time. It's going to be the result of a sanitary sewer evaluation, and we'll be able to give you some very specific targeted locations of where we're seeing.
Good. Because I know I'm in the weeds, but I just remember this MS4 was a big deal.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people were worried about the cost.
We should be able to help with that.
Now, to Section 4, under status of undrawn loans. What you talk about here, you have about 13 million in undrawn loans at this time. Is that accurate?
Yes, as of December when this report was issued.
And you say none of it is MDE or what's that? What are those, water quality loans? Is that what
Water
those things?
quality, yes, MDE.
Yeah,
and
those are all done.
Those are done,
Okay, so what these are DHCD loans.
yes.
So
I
you'll
think
be-
this report actually shows about 600,000 still of MDE, which would come off of this total.
All right, well, what I found interesting was on page 4 was the history of these loans by fiscal year. And back in 6/30/15, it was 43,600,000 and some. And then it went down to 35, 26, 24, 21, 23. Those are all good trends.
Mhm.
But is it reasonable to think these ever get down to zero?
No, I wouldn't think so.
They're our only
because-
primary way of funding is MDE and DHCD.
That's the only primary way of funding.
Only funding sources we have other than our own reserves. For example, if you look on page 2 of 4, there's a prior set of projects, and the majority of the funding out of that 7.9 million is the Piney Point wastewater pump station.
Yeah, I've seen that. And I see
Getting
under
ready to
design.
Spring,
Yeah.
along with the water station. So that one should be able to be completely drawn down in the next 2 years.
Okay, when you have, looking at that one and a couple other ones here, you have them under design. So when they're under design, does that mean you figured out how much you're going to cost? When something's under design, does that mean it's 90% figured out by the time you borrow the money?
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's pretty much figured
90.
out, but it's still under design.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I gave you credit for that. I figured that's what. Now, on the last one you had here. No, that's not it. I'm done. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Erickson, I just had a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
We talked about the realigning of the manholes and the sewers to prevent the stormwater from infiltrating the system. Will that result in a cost savings to Metcom that will be passed on to the residents?
Absolutely, if it's significant enough.
And will any of these other projects also do the same thing that are being worked on, passed on to savings to the residents?
Anything that results in less operating costs on the operating side, absolutely. One of the main reasons we try to do rehabilitation and repair prior to its time is to make sure we don't start paying for those breakdowns and repairs.
Gotcha.
Piney Point Force Main is a really good example. That's about a $7 million project for about 3.5 miles, where we've seen breaks repeatedly over time, over the past 10, 15 years. And it's time to replace that entire section, and that's what we plan to do.
Kind of the same issue you ran into in Town Creek, just starting to see a lot of breaks.
And that's
Time
the
to-
reason why we shifted Section 5 to be Phase 3, if that makes any sense. You know, it was sequentially in order 1 through 5, but Phase 3 is going to be Section 5 for that exact reason.
Gotcha.
Exact reason.
Thank you very much.
Good.
St. Clements Shores, they continue to complain about the water pressure. Now, is that something you guys working on, or is that come under your bailiwick, or is that?
Yeah, all the water lines have now been replaced. That project finally has gone to close out. We will check with our operations staff and see if they have,
So
if
the-
they've been planning on making any adjustments to that
So if
pressure.
Mr. Polk or Mr. Miles reaches out about the water pressure, we can tell him it's fixed?
He can always reach out to us, you know that. And he has.
Yeah, I know he does.
And he has. But absolutely, there are tweaks we can make to the system if they are still having issues.
Okay, I'll find it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, the only concern we had on the pressure side of that would be, so that system is operated at a lower pressure for a very long time, so we're worried that if we turn it up too high, the interior plumbing of the homes may not be able to handle it.
Interesting.
So that's a concern. I know we've spoken with our operations folks about it, so that's the only concern we have, is if we crank it up too much.
Well, you can't regulate the pressure coming into the home at the point of interest?
They could, we can't, but the homeowner could.
All right. Thank you.
So those will be case by case, you can see.
I still think your unreserved fund's too high. 23 million's too high. And I guess I would say to you is figure out where you got that money and figure out a way to somehow reduce it, because you got 16.9 in your restricted, which talks to emergencies with water and sewer and expansion and whatnot, which makes perfect sense. But when you get 19.5 million for a total budget and almost 39 million in reserves, 23 million on reserves too high.
Well, to answer your question,
Thank you.
auditors look at cash differently, and Jeanette, you can chime in as well as Patty. They look at cash a little bit differently. They put it all in the category of unreserved. $9.8 million of that is a prior loan refinancing where the bank gave us cash. Okay? It's unreserved as far as the auditor is concerned, but for us, it's obligated to those projects that we originally borrowed for, if that makes any sense.
All right.
So it's held in a separate.
held in a separate
bank
accounts.
account from our normal business
But
checking.
it's designated to pay for a capital contribution, a capital construction?
Capital projects, absolutely.
Committed. Yes.
So when we refinanced, they just gave us cash. Now,
Well, we meet in May. Maybe you can have that laid out for us.
so the bank doesn't care what you spend the money on. We could spend it on other
Well,
projects, but then we'd have to borrow money for
I
the
would
projects.
say to you that the rate holders care about what their money's being held for.
Absolutely.
That's what I think the key is.
Absolutely.
And also, speaking of our debt policy study, utilities generally are not required, but it's recommended to have a much higher reserve
Well, I always thought it was 50%.
because of the capital outlay and liquidity to front fund our projects. But then if there's any catastrophic event, just for example, during the pandemic, and the governor issued an order where we could not collect past due and we could not disconnect service to our customers for
You needed the
non-payment.
ability to.
We had to continue to operate.
I get that. I get that. But my thought is, when you have a $19 million, budget, and you got a $16 million restricted reserve, that's pretty much insulated from surprises, I think. But we can agree to disagree. So thank you.
Anything else, Commissioners? I need a motion.
All right, I move to approve the Metropolitan Commission's request to submit a loan application for the funding of prior approved capital improvement project through the Department of Housing and Community Development in the amount of $11,257,216 plus cost of issuance and administrative fees in accordance with Section 113-30.2.c of the Code of St. Mary's County.
Second.
I got a first and second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you all. Next up, from the Department of Finance, is the authorization to award the asphalt overlay for 2024. Jeanette Cudmore, CFO, and Brandon Hayden, Procurement Officer. Welcome.
Thank you, Dave. Pursuant to Resolution 2015-41, approved by the County Commissioners of St. Mary's County, contract awards in excess of $1 million require the approval of the Commissioners of St. Mary's County. This is on the calendar year 2024 asphalt overlay services, and Brandon Hayden has all the details. Brandon.
Good morning. So we're seeking concurrence to award calendar year 2024 asphalt overlay projects, which represent the second half of FY24 projects and the first half of FY25 projects. This process allows for our contractor to continue working on paving projects during prime summer weather months. The asphalt overlay solicitation was posted to the Maryland Marketplace Advantage on January 31st, where 435 potential bidders were notified of the solicitation. Additional bidders were notified on the county website. No pre-bid meeting was held. One amendment was posted to answer questions and respond to requests for additional information. 4 bids were received before the bid opening date of February 22nd at 3 p.m. We're seeking your concurrence to award to Wholesome Mar in an estimated amount of $3,494,300 for asphalt overlay projects to be completed in calendar year 2024, subject to receipt and acceptance of contract-related documents, and also subject to sufficient appropriations for the first half of FY 2025 projects, which will be encumbered to a purchase order on or after July 1.
Okay. I did have a couple questions about that. Looking over this solicitation, you've done business with this company before, I'm assuming.
I think this is their 3rd year in a row
Yeah.
to be the low bidder.
They're consistently lower on unit pricing. And is there a reason why they can be that low? I mean, you have four different people here, and 3 of them were in about the same range. And then you get a 4th one that's $500,000 cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, Wholesome is a worldwide company.
Okay, so it's economy of scale for them.
And they control their own manufacturing with an asphalt plant in
Good
Waldorf.
for them, yeah. All right.
Or outside of Waldorf.
The other one I had was probably more for Director Gouch, if he has a minute to come up. And this is concerns 2 roadways that are involved in this repaging. I don't know if you have this thing in front of you.
No, I don't.
Well, then I'll talk to you about it. You're doing 0.7 miles, the entire road of Cougar Court in Hollywood. Now, Cougar Court, a lady there, Miss Himes, has been in touch with me about flooding that comes through her property. And it has to do with some people behind her. She's lower, but the issue gets to be that the swells, or where the water's supposed to go, is not sufficient to when they have a heavy rain, and it overflows the swell, comes into her yard. Then there's a drain pipe at her driveway that should drain it and get it away, but there's either that's insufficient or it's clogged or whatever. I went out and looked at it, and she has a big issue there, but it's Cougar Court, so pay attention to the drainage or whatever, because you put more asphalt in or better asphalt, water's going to run faster, the stormwater. Second one was on Jones Wharf Road. Now, it talks here from the cul-de-sac 0.3 miles. Now, I'm assuming the cul-de-sac, is that right there at the front, or is that, the cul-de-sac usually means the back, yeah, but tell me.
I didn't put together
Look
the
into
list,
that.
but the cul-de-sac is usually at the very end of the road.
That's what I thought.
So
Well,
the 0.3 miles. We do a pavement study, and we have the roads ranked about when they need to be replaced. So this is the list of roads that came up based on the ranking of the pavement. So
okay,
if
well,
your road's in worse condition, that section gets paved. Not the entire length of Jones Wharf Road gets
Just the
overlaid
end.
at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, someone had reached out to me about that too.
And okay,
had a
so we'll look at
flooding
that
issue.
as well. But the culverts, when we're doing overlays, we usually replace culverts at the same time.
I'd like you to look at Sunnyside Road and Jones Wharf Road too, because that's what's interesting about that is we have no private road maintenance agreement, but we have 38 houses back there we've approved to be built, and the people don't want to enter into a private road agreement, which doesn't make sense. How we let that many houses go down a road that doesn't have a private road maintenance agreement. But right there at the beginning of it is about 200 feet that is very well well manicured, well taken care of, and it's all paved. But they don't have a stop sign. And it seemed like that would be something that county would want to put a stop sign there. Just
We place stop signs even on all private roads.
look at that
the
one when you get it.
intersection, yeah.
Look at that intersection. when you
Sometimes
get it.
they come down. So we put a stop sign for the safety of the entire county residents.
I would think so.
And sometimes when the signs are stolen or the signs get knocked down, it disappears and we replace the sign. Often we're not doing maintenance. We don't actually have the right to go into the private right of way and do the maintenance. So sometimes we work with the homeowners. We'll provide the post. We'll provide a stop sign, and they can install a new sign.
A constituent, Steve King, reached out to me about this one.
Okay.
Said there should be a stop sign because people without a stop sign just come up and do a roll through, and at Jones Wharf Road can be.
I think they do that even with stop signs, but
Well,
but
let's
yeah,
just say if
one gets
one
there.
is there and there's an accident, then maybe something.
Yeah, we'll make sure one gets in there.
I have a question on the award. What was the basis of the award? Was it the usual best, lowest price? Was it best value?
Low bid.
Low bid? What assurances do we have that we're going to get quality work? That always concerns me.
Reference checks, 3 years of experience with this contractor. So
We don't know of any other projects that they've done that we've actually gone and seen.
they inspect all of them.
All the roads that have been paved in the county the last few years
They've
are,
done the
are
work?
this company.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
this
okay.
company was Aggregate Industries.
They changed
Right.
the
And the
name.
name was changed.
All right, excellent.
Well, they have to meet a certain standard, right? Either our county, state, for
This is-
asphalt.
Yeah, this is an excellent contractor.
Correct, okay.
Well, I'm going to move to authorize the procurement officer to award asphalt overlay services contract for calendar year 2024 to Holcomb Marr in the amount estimated to exceed $1 million, subject to receipt and acceptance of contract-related documents.
Second.
I got a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much.
Mr. Gotch, don't go anywhere. You're next for congressionally directed spending requests, i.e. earmarks.
Okay.
Welcome.
I'll move over one seat. All right, so this I want to run through really quick. I want to mention each of the projects so that anybody who's not on board docs knows what we're talking about. So each year, we have the ability to go in and request federal funding to help us with some of our local projects. So this year, we're submitting 4 projects, and then what we're asking for is for permission for Commissioner Guy to sign all the letters. So we send letters to Senators Cardin and Van Hollen, and also Commissioner Steny Hoyer. And so Congressman, what
Hoyer.
did I say?
Commissioner.
You said commissioner.
You gave him a
You lowered it. You lowered his standard there. That's okay.
raised the standard.
Yeah, thank you.
A promotion.
Okay, and then when those letters are signed, DPW scans everything and submits online. So that's what we're requesting on the 4 projects. So the 4 projects we're requesting is number 1, the YMCA. I'll give you a little more detail in a second. Number 2, a pedestrian bridge crossing Jarbosville Run on Peg Road, so we can extend the sidewalk. Number 3, Peg Road widening up to 4 lanes for the parts that's 2 lanes right now. And number 4 is a street lighting request. So number 1, YMCA, we're currently funded in the RP 2004, the Recs and Parks budget. And any of the congressional funding would come back into the commissioner's reserve, basically. Instead of the commissioners paying for all these improvements, the federal government would help offset some of the costs that the county is paying. So we asked for $6.2 million in fiscal year 23, which was denied. We asked for $3 million in fiscal year 24 last year, and we don't have anything that says we were awarded any money, but I understand there still may be money that they haven't completely turned us down yet.
Well, what I heard on that is that they don't have a budget yet. They have not approved you know, if everything's a continuing resolution, which doesn't increase anything. But
Sure.
that's-
So we don't have a rejection letter that says you didn't get anything.
Right.
So we're submitting again this year just in case. So what I understand is the delegation is trying to get us $1 million from that fiscal year 24 request. The $3 million, they might come up with $1 million, and then also there's $850,000 that's floating around that we may get from more local sources than like Jack Bailey and those guys fighting to bring more money down here. So there's money that may be available. We're not guaranteed any of it.
For the YMCA?
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't think that they had any earmarks in at the state level this year. I think next
okay.
year.
Well,
Delegate Crosby's
this was
planning
from
to-
my fiscal year 24 request.
Well, I think it's wise to go ahead and request it.
So right, we have no guarantees of any money coming in. So we're requesting, since they rejected 6.2, they rejected 3. We think they did. We're requesting $2 million this year. And last year they told us when you're going to construction, you have a much better shot at actually getting
Yes.
the money. So we're going to construction in fiscal year 25.
Makes sense.
Yes. What I have heard that is YMCA, I heard this from Delegate Crosby recently, will be looking for the earmark or whatever you call it from the state next year, because the YMCA will break ground September of this year. And they'll use the county money for funding. And usually the state likes to be the one that, you know, takes you from the 2-yard line into the end zone. Same thing with the feds. They like to be the ones that get involved in the last, you know, bit of funding that puts you over the top so everybody can kind of claim a little bit of the victory, as they say. And,
Oh, sure. And,
Yeah.
and we'll keep asking.
Yeah,
My job is to ask.
Well, that's the key. They said, Robbie Gill from YMCA said, let's just keep asking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're submitting 14 letters of support with this. So that's the first project. Number 2 was the Peg Road pedestrian bridge. So where Peg Road crosses Jarbosville Run, the actual road deck, the bridge section is not wide enough to support a pedestrian section next to the roadway. So there's got to be a separate structure that's constructed parallel to the existing road deck. And so what we're asking for is the total cost on this was $1.5 million. It would be a 75-25% split. So our share of the cost would be about $375,000. We would tie this to our Highway 2103, which is a retrofit sidewalk program. So if I can get a $1.5 million pedestrian bridge for $375,000, I'll take it all day long. So what this would do, we have the sidewalk that received a $300,000 earmark before, coming up off of Chancellor's Run, running all the way to where the subdivision is right before Jarbosville Run. This bridge section would allow us to get across Jarbosville Run, and then the next request we have, widening Peg Road to 4 lanes, also includes sidewalk access. So we would be able to get the sidewalks all the way up to the Westbury Roundabout, through the Westbury Roundabout to Chancellor's Run Road. And this is one of our 60 miles of most dangerous road that was in our local roadway safety plan. And so we're pushing that to say this would be an excellent project to help with pedestrian safety and crashes. And our pricing for these structures is all by our rental contractor. All right, number 3, right in the same vein, was the 4-lane widening. This would be tied to the Highway 2101 project, which is roadway and safety improvements, and Highway 2103, the retrofit a sidewalk if we needed to do that. This one is, we have a total project cost of $3,627,000. So it would take our cost, our share of the cost, again, 25%, to $907,000. So again, if I can widen a $4 million road and only have to pay $1 million for it, we'll do it. And this would support, we've got Stewart's grant coming in. We've got developers who are looking at doing development inside the opportunity zone. It's the triangle that's wedged between Peg Road and Chancellor's Run Road. So this would really help move traffic through down to gate number 1 at the base. And it would also get pedestrians off the roadway onto a sidewalk system. And then number 4 is street lighting. So the number one thing you can do to improve safety at intersections is to put a street light. It creates an operational cost, but what we're asking for is $1 million, and so our share in that one would be $250,000, and we would tie that to our Highway 2204 budget, which is street lighting and streetscape improvements. And so we're estimating about $10,000 for a light at each intersection. So we would install as many lights with $1 million as we could get. And it would just become part of the Public Works operating budget at that point. We're currently working on a lighting study on Great Mills Road to see if we can't improve lighting on Great Mills Road.
Isn't that a state responsibility there, though?
No, you would think so. The state says we build roads. If you want a sidewalk, if you want lighting, that's up to you. So the local jurisdiction pays for the lighting and pays for the sidewalks.
I remember a while back I got involved with some street lights down there, and 40% of them were out. Yeah. I guess that's something that's being looked at, or somebody looks at that, the number of lights that are not working, don't they?
If it's a county light and we know it's out, we have it replaced immediately.
No, on Great Mills Road, it's a state light.
Yes, there's a lot of lights that are owned privately in that area.
Great Mills Road?
I don't know which
From the
lights
high school to
if they're hanging over the roadway. If somebody saw a light was out, we'd be more than happy to get with SMECO and get it
Tell
replaced.
me, just to refresh my memory, we have, after a certain time at night, I think 11 p.m., the light at Chancellor's Run Road and Great Mills Road becomes a flashing light. It is not a working light for red, yellow, and green at that time. But the lights on Chancellor's Run Road, we have those working. Have we ever figured out the common sense why we don't make those flashing lights?
We put in the request.
And what
so
happened?
we discussed this before.
I know we have. I can't remember.
We asked
Refresh my
the
memory.
Highway, could we do that?
And what'd they say?
No.
Favorite word.
Their own light is flashing.
Yes, it is. Correct.
But the one on Chancellor's Run, which has less traffic.
Yeah, so we had
That's
asked.
still a state road, too. That's still
Yes,
state.
it is.
It is,
Both
correct.
of them are.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense that the light at the intersection is
Oh, I
flashing.
agree.
But the ones at, like, say, Belvoir or wherever in there, you got to stop for those.
Sure.
It's
so,
nuts.
So we had even said on the initial cut was, no, we're not going to flash our lights. But we said, okay, well, take FDR out. If we kept the signal at FDR operational, would you create the other ones flashing lights? And so they looked at that, and the guys up, Simon Cha-Cha, I don't remember which office he works
forward
out of.
that
but
information, who made that decision to you?
I think he's operation of traffic and safety, which is probably out of Baltimore. But he decided, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah. All right, well, forward that to me when you get a minute.
It came
Simon Cha-Cha.
Yeah, so it came through the Office of Traffic and Safety down through District 5. So Kim Tran actually sent a letter to us, an official letter that said, no, we're not going to flash the lights.
Well, it just doesn't make sense. You pull off of Great Mills Road onto Chancellor's Run Road with a flashing light, and then you go maybe less than a quarter mile, and there's a light there at Peg Road that you got to signalized for, and it only has a right turn going on. I mean, again, it just doesn't make sense.
So, a couple questions, Mr. Gotch. What's the process you go through to rank these? I mean, I'm going to support what you've got here before us, but how did you determine, well, this one's number 2, this one's number 3, this is project number 4?
A lot of times it's what we really need the most money for, but when we're talking to the delegation, so one of the things we were looked at, I had mentioned a few weeks ago, improvements we needed to transfer station or our solid waste, the convenience center. That one didn't fit the program, so we weeded that one out. So then we look at, well, what's the next best option we're asking for? I'd love to get the pedestrian bridge across Jarbosville Run. If I could do that, that just frees us up to get sidewalk the rest of the way. So we're ranking the pedestrian crossing as number 2. The roadway safety improvements take up number 3 and 4. So both 3 and 4 would get pedestrians out of the roadway, out of the travel lane or off the shoulder. And then it would also create more safety at the intersection. So we're looking at what are the best shot we actually have of getting things, what are the most important things that we need to do for the county.
Is that internal to your department looking at it? Is county administrator looking at it with you? I mean, who's...
We discuss outside the department these things as well.
My concern is that earlier this morning, we approved our consent agenda, which has a letter of support for the health department to get an earmark of funds for the health hub. Great project also. Are we competing against ourselves with that? I'm concerned about, are we taking a comprehensive overall look at the county? And so I guess kind of what I'd like to see next year maybe is in advance, if we could get some criteria of what they look at, maybe for all the commissioners to see, and that we have some buy-in earlier than what we've got.
We can certainly do that for next year, no problem.
Sure.
'Cause
This is
I don't disagree that all of these are important projects, but maybe the commissioners would say, yeah, street lighting's really important, but maybe this other thing is more important for the
So
county.
the criteria, we're always under a deadline on this one. So the criteria comes out just a few weeks before I come here and sit here. So they'll put out the publication that says, hey, we're getting ready to go for the congressional funding, and here's the dates. And then they'll schedule a meeting for where you got to log in and see what exactly they're allowing, what they're proposing is going to be the projects that are trying to move forward this year.
Gotcha.
So it's always a tight deadline, but I have no problem getting together with everybody.
I think it'd be fun for us to be able to have a little bit of
Well,
input in ranking.
It is a very tight deadline, but what we can do is bring it to you guys in advance and speak in generalities, as
Maybe
to-
it's something that should factor into our earlier budget work session on CIP, where we say, hey, these are some of our projects coming up that are in the works right now. This is what we would prioritize.
And that's what we do internal, is we look at the projects that we've got coming up in our CIP budgets. And so we look to see what is eligible for funding this year, or what they would consider eligible for funding. Just because it meets their criteria doesn't mean we'll get funding.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, talking about this consent agenda, I just wanted to bring this up. I see Charles County, whenever they have the consent agenda, they tell people what's in it. And I think that might be helpful, because several times we've had commissioners vote against the consent agenda, which seems like we should all be in consent of.
Yeah.
And that maybe it'd be wise to tell the public, okay, we got the consent agenda, and then included in this consent agenda is a letter for the health department, just something as simple as that. Because it
can
is
do that, yeah.
confusing if you're
Certainly.
sitting out there and someone votes against the consent agenda, you say, well, what'd they vote against?
Yeah. Yeah, okay, that sounds reasonable to me, yeah, I have no problem with that. Make that happen, Mr. Wisecoff.
Absolutely.
One other thing, did you see the email from MDOT about the roundabout at Clements?
No.
You haven't received that yet?
I
had audience with them in August at Mako about moving the
speed limit.
speed limit
Yeah.
signs up, and they did an interesting survey and found out that 80% plus were exceeding 10 miles an hour past them 40-mile-an-hour speed limit signs. So they're moving,
Not on the roundabout.
Getting up
approaching
to
the
it.
roundabout,
Roundabout.
approaching it.
Yeah.
Because these 40-mile speed limits are not very far from the roundabout. I mean, there's only a few hundred yards, and you're at the roundabout.
Gotcha.
And they're doing 50 miles an hour past that sign.
I mean, I don't want to point any fingers as to who it is.
Oh,
just
no,
kidding.
not in that hot rod she's got. No. Anyway, but anyway, they did send an email and said they did the survey and all this, and they also sent a copy to the sheriff's department to let them know about the speeds going through there. But they're going to move all those back. I had asked them also to reduce it to 30 miles an hour, but they didn't do that. It's going to be 40 miles an hour, but they're moving them back quite a ways.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did see that letter.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll have to forward that to you. Okay. Any other questions, commissioners?
No.
We have a first and second on this?
We have a motion.
We have a motion yet?
I move to approve the federal funding request letters to the federal delegation, support the department's completion of the online applications consistent with the materials, and authorize Commissioner President to sign the related documents.
Second.
I have a first and second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, Mr. Gosh. Thank you.
Thank you. And next up is from the Office of the County Attorney with legislative updates, John Sterling Hauser presenting.
Good morning, Mr. Hauser.
Good morning, Commissioners. Light packet this morning. We've got about a month to go.
I don't know. It looks a little too light to me.
Never know which one to do, though. The one we got originally or the updated one we get.
I'm trying. That was the bold bureaucratic innovation we did, putting everything on the supplemental memorandum.
Okay,
So
so
hopefully
it's
only go
just
from that one.
Supplemental. is what you're
Right.
Okay.
But quick overview of where we are. We are in a lull. This will probably be the last calm before the storm, with about just over 30 days to go until sine die on April 9th.
How many?
Exact number is in here. I think it's 34.
So they
34.
got what, 4.5 weeks?
Yeah.
5
April
weeks?
9th is our drop dead date.
Okay, April 9th. Gotcha.
So where we are at is general trend up there is a lot of bills that we're watching, a lot of bills in particular, and this was consistent with last year, are just sitting in committee waiting to come out. So next week we might have a bit of a bye week, but certainly no later than that. We're going to start seeing things moving, and it is going to be a sprint to the finish. Committee reports they do have a flexible, kind of a preferred date to get things out of their committee by next week. March 12th is the date. The actual crossover date by which any house that intends to pass legislation should send legislation, pass it out of their house, and send to the other chamber.
When is that date now?
That is March 18th.
March 18th. Crossover is March 18th.
And again, those deadlines are not necessarily hard. They are not necessarily firm. It's just once those go without action being taken, the path gets narrower and the climb gets steeper. But things can happen at the last minute. Where we're at, no movement on any of our local bills or local bond initiatives, same as they were last year. The only real updates for you this morning, not too much new legislation being put in at this late hour either. We've only got 3 updates on bills that the commissioners have sent letters of support or opposition or support with amendments on that have moved out. First one, HB 19, SB 207, renaming the Northern Snakehead. The original proposal by Senator Bailey was to rename it the Patuxent fish. That name has been rejected by the House and being replaced with the Chesapeake Chana.
I did read where Indonesia, Malaysia, and I think Singapore all call their snakeheads Chana, this same name.
Apparently, it's in the taxonomy. Apparently, Chana is the genus that all snakehead are found over. So kind of clever on that one.
It's like the biological
Got that
name.
figured out, didn't we?
Right. It flows. Interestingly, these were not unanimous. We had 1 dissenting vote in the House and 2 dissenting votes in the Senate. Don't know what their beef was, but that's our update on there. I assume the name change does not cause the commissioners to rethink their position of support on the legislation.
No, we're fine.
Well, how did Senator Bailey take that? Did he okay with it?
Haven't spoken to him personally. He did say when he went up to testify, it's your bill now, committee. We just think it needs another name to make it marketable. So make of it what you will.
Okay.
Did not hear how he took the rejection of the friendly amendment to name it the Bailey fish, though. Next one, HB 43/SB 316. This is the state bill for statewide authorization of allowing certain county-owned roads to be legal authorization of unregistered golf carts. Mentioned this last year. Thought was just to bring it out, let you actually see the text of the amendment. Generally, the conditions that this enabling legislation has always had in the past. Driver has to have a license, lights, other safety features. They're making that part of the statewide authorization, also including a provision in there that there may not at any time be more occupants of the golf cart than there are seats in the golf cart. And then lastly, a carve-out for Golden Mills. The statewide authorization is going to be for roads 30 miles per hour or less speed limits. Golden Mills has some roads where it's 35 miles per hour. That's in their current
Golden
enabling
Mills.
legislation. Or Great Mills. Or Golden Beach.
Golden
There
Beach,
we go.
Patuxent
Oh, Mills.
There we go. Golden Beach, Patuxent Knolls. So this preserves the 35 miles per hour limit. For
Okay,
Golden
so this is looking like it's going to pass on a statewide level.
So it's gotten through the House. It's still got to go through the
I
Senate.
see that 134 to 2. That's pretty encouraging.
Right. So
Probably tired of hearing about it.
Yeah, they've had enough.
that supposedly is how Delegate Stewart thought about it when he sponsored it on the House side. We do have Senator Bailey as a sponsor in the Senate. It's just waiting to see if it's going to move or not.
Okay.
And then lastly, update. This one came through on Friday, HB 685/SB 516, creation of the Maryland Aerospace and Technology Commission. The commissioners will remember the commissioners 3-2 took a position of supporting with amendments. The idea was to try and get representation for Southern Maryland's aerospace industry on this to-be-formed Maryland Aerospace and Technology Commission. Which will have the goal and a few $1 million, it looks like, to create a strategic master plan for the state of how to encourage this industry and how to basically spend grant money and the other resources this commission will have at its disposal to encourage development of that sector of the economy. Bruce Bariano got an advanced copy of an amended bill. It hasn't officially been filed yet. Nothing's come out of committee. But this advanced copy he acquired gets us about approximately 25 to 30% of what we asked for. It does allow the commission to create more than one aerospace and technology zone. So there's the possibility that it will not just be one zone that covers basically the organizations that are given enumerated positions and membership on this commission. Other than that, the other amendments asked for, namely anything related to representation, are not in there. Of the 13 or so voting members of the commission, 6 come from either Prince George's County or Baltimore County or City, just based on where those organizations are headquartered. 4 are discretionary appointments by the governor. So the odds of getting Southern Maryland a seat on that table, unless this amended bill changes, are not great, in my estimation. Mr. Bariano continues to work on this one. He's engaging with Jack to try and work changes in the Senate as well, where I think Mr. Bariano thinks we'll have a more favorable environment that might be conducive to some changes. But I assume the position will just be keep working on this and trying to get us representation on this commission.
Has Mr. Bariano actually done anything other than provide us updates? Get one from him and one from, I guess, somebody else in his office. But has he actually testified on our behalf up there?
He's testified on it. I'd have to go back and check and get the exact number. It's between 4 and 6 bills, I think, where he has testified on us. This was one of the ones we set him, and he spent a lot of effort on.
But he was representing St. Mary's County in that testimony?
Correct. Yeah, and we can get that. I can get that full list out to the commissioners as well. They include that next week as well. But he has been testifying on behalf of the bills we send him.
Remember that whatever you send out to us, tell us, has his testimony had any impact on the outcome?
So that's a tough one to say because most of the bills I think we sent him on have passed, or they're the local bills that probably were going to pass no matter what. To what amount we credit that to Mr. Bariano, no one's ever going to know for sure. This one bill we're talking about right now would be a good test of that, my candid opinion.
Well, the one I guess I'm referring to was the one of the lobbyists giving campaign contributions to local officials and I did see some emails that I thought were a little not disturbing, but just, I didn't like them. One about Bariano objecting to Delegate Matt Morgan coming into the Ways and Means Committee and I guess impugning his integrity of some type, which he took that to be a letter that email he had to write to the chairman of that subcommittee, of which Mr. Delegate Matt Morgan had to write another one. I mean, this is this little infighting stuff that helps nobody.
Yeah, we saw those as well. That was HB 521. Only comment I'll make, that was one where the commissioners did pass a letter of support on that position. That was very clear to Mr. Bariano, and he did stay well clear. Would have anyways, but certainly at our instruction. What he said in that testimony was his personal opinion. It's fixed on him as a person only. Did not purport to speak for St. Mary's County or on behalf of the commissioners, and I think that was made very clear. That was also made abundantly clear.
He supported it personally.
Right. He opposed it personally because,
right,
for his reasons,
right,
but made it clear that there was a distinction there between the commissioner's position and the letter of support we sent, and him
right,
testifying wasn't a
I
personal
mean, but
capacity.
that's tough, Randy, when you know, he wants to be personally opposed to it, but he supports it because he's hired by us to support it.
Correct.
That whole thing just seems like a...
I think he made it pretty clear that he did not support it
Did
one
too.
bit.
I think he did too.
And we did not
Asked
ask him to
We
come
didn't
forward.
ask him to
either.
support
Never
that
asked him
either.
to
Yeah.
support either.
Right.
That wouldn't have been a fair position to put him in there.
Well,
It,
he jumped in the middle of it.
Well, I mean, it was targeted at him, too. So,
Other than that, commissioners, that's all I have for you this morning, as always.
one thing, Mr. Hauser, Delegate Matt Morgan told me last week that he was able to amend the bill that is dealing with the state nursing homes to include local governments getting informed on it, and I just wanted to know if you had seen anything about that.
Okay. We'll check. I'm trying to remember the last time I peeked at that. It was sometime last week. I don't remember seeing anything right now, and it hasn't come out of committee. We
Yeah,
wouldn't see it
it's
publicly,
probably
but we can
still
follow up on
in
that. But
committee there.
That is something we will follow up and track.
I think that's his committee, I
But
believe.
when's it come out of committee? Is that, it comes out before crossover?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully by March 12th. That's the target date that any committee is supposed to have its report favorable, unfavorable, or favorable with amendments by 11:59 a week from today. So we'll see if we actually get that in time for the update in the meeting, but hopefully we'll have a little bit more for you next week than we did this week.
Good.
Whose feelings get hurt for asking just for a little bit of local courtesy?
I
or
know,
something like that.
I know.
It's regardless of who's representing us up there, it's, you know, it's just give the county local courtesy of letting us know so we don't get
Something's wrong
bombarded.
with
We don't get bombarded with why are
Right.
we the problem up there at a state institution, so.
Yep.
I think Secretary Mr. Wood would be glad to do that. I just speak to him. So.
Sounds like a little bit of personal lobbying needs to be done there.
Hey, what can I say? What can I say?
Commissioners, nothing else?
Thank you very
See you
much,
next
Mr.
week.
Mr.
10
Hauser.
minutes. I
Great
have a
job.
bank of 20
You did a
minutes.
great job. You did it in plenty of time. It's a record. We got to record that.
Right. Mr. Hauser, and that is all for county administrator time.
Oh, great. Oh, my gosh. Okay, we'll go around the commissioner's time. We'll start with Mr. Hewitt this time.
Oh, goodness, thank you. Okay, went to the legislative reception last Thursday night up in Annapolis. It's a bus trip sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce, and it was interesting. Got to talk to some different delegates up there, talked to some commissioners from Charles County, and anytime you think, you got your own problems, boy, everybody else has got them. There's a little bit of, what's the term, company, misery loves company, and there was people up there really having some issues with, but this Charles County is interesting. They have a county administrator hadn't been to work in over a year, and he's on paid leave. They have a county commissioner who hadn't showed up at a meeting other than virtually for the same length of time. Look, you kind of look at what we do down here, and we kind of get stuck in that, not stuck, but we were in a microcosm of what we do. But when you go somewhere like that, you get to hear what other people are dealing with. And it's not so bad in St. Mary's County. Now, I'd like to reach out to all those teachers, constituents, educators, people who've sent us over 400 emails, and according to my count, could be even higher than that now, regarding the funding for the Board of Education. It's $9.5 million. It's a lot of money. All these things that these people ask for, I think that's, whether it be the STEM, whether it be the GIS, all these things that are potentially, quote unquote, on the chopping block because this money may not be coming. Those letters need to go to the Board of Education. What's good this year is we have 10 people running for the 3 positions on the Board of Education. It's the most this commissioner has seen in a long time. And I think what's important to understand is that the Board of Education, those elected members have their own constituency. And what we do as commissioners is we give them a lump sum of money. We are not involved in the negotiations. If they negotiate an agreement that they feel that they can pay for, it doesn't make sense that they can't fund that negotiation unless they get the money from the commissioners. When I was on the Board of Education 25 years ago, 1996 to 2000, we did 2 negotiations with the unions back then. And I always remember when we went into a negotiation, we understood when we gave our final and best offer how we were going to fund that, because we did not know if the commissioners would give us the money or had the money to give us. It wasn't a matter of wanting to or not wanting to. They want to fund education, and we want to fund education. But I think it's important to understand, though, that some of these things that are putting out of class sizes going to 32 or 35, right now it's 1 in 16. If it goes to 1 in 35, that means you have half as many teachers with the same amount of students. It doesn't make sense. So let's just hope we come to some kind of a agreement here where we can get to the end. But I would say you need to hold the Board of Education members' feet to the fire. If those things are important to you, those things need to be going to them. Because once we give them the money, we don't know if they're going to spend it on that. They can spend it on what they want. Let's hope they do. This afternoon, we have another budget work session, state elected officials. It's going to be another interesting one. Now, this commissioner believes that we can do some belt tightening. I do believe we can find efficiencies with them where we do not have to raise taxes. Raising taxes is the last thing I think a commissioner wants to do. I don't speak for others, I'll speak for myself. But the key is that we need to understand that grocery prices are still high, gasoline, heating oil, all these things are still high, that it's expensive, the cost of living in St. Mary's County. And raising people's taxes is putting additional burdens on them. So we'll have that budget work session starting at 1:30, so please tune in. Now lastly, this week, we got to turn the clocks back. Or no, forward. Spring ahead, fall back. Spring ahead. So we're going to turn them ahead an hour. So you're going to lose an hour of sleep. Now, I'm an usher in church on Sunday, 9 o'clock, and it's amazing the number of people get there for 9 o'clock Mass and show up about 9:30, quarter to 10, because they just didn't set the clocks back. But remember, Sunday night, 2 a.m., spring ahead. Thank you.
Very good. So, a couple things I want to touch on this morning. Like Commissioner Hewitt said, we got a budget work session this afternoon. We had one last week, and I 100% agree with him that none of the commissioners up here want to raise taxes. We have an incredibly difficult budget this year where there's not enough funds. And so one of the things I talked about last week in our budget work session, I just want to run down the list again. We have state-required salary increases for our school teachers. We have state increase in salary for Maryland State Police, making law enforcement more competitive. We have crime and traffic enforcement issues in our county. And for all the people who were opposed to speed cameras being used, many of them said there should be police officers out there ticketing speeders individually. That costs money to hire police officers. We have a documented study demonstrating that our county employees are underpaid, and that's going to impact services if we cannot compete with other employers. We have a documented study showing we need to support our EMS system. We have shortfalls in our EMS billing revenue. We have promises we made last year to our library system and to our state's attorney's office that we would continue to work with them going forward. We have our sports league fees that need to be covered. And we have next year, we have an agreement that LoSAP we're going to review, and that highway user fees, they're going away. They're decreasing significantly. So it's not an easy budget. There's a lot of work to do still. but it's just not a pretty picture, so I hope you're paying attention as to what's happening. Over this past weekend, though, I was able to attend the Cosmic Symphony concert down at St. Mary's College. It was phenomenal. We have such a gift in them. It's a free concert with incredibly high-class music. Definitely keep an eye out for their next concert is May 4th. May the 4th be with you down at St. Mary's College. Mark it on your calendar, 3 p.m. that Saturday. It's going to be a great concert. And then this coming Sunday, there's the Firehouse Breakfast at the 2nd District Volunteer Fire Department and Rescue Squad. It's a great breakfast. Come out. You don't have to clean up. You don't have to cook. And it supports a good organization. So hopefully see you there. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner. Mike.
Yeah, thank you. So this past weekend, I was able to sit in on another Eagle Scout Court of Honor. And it was really a great experience to do that, to hear all the work that these young scouts go through to attain the rank of Eagle Scout. And the scout this past weekend is named Tyler, and he got together with Wild Birds Unlimited and created boxes for barn owls. And I think he did like 10 of them. And with that cooperation with Wild Birds Unlimited, they were actually able to bring in a injured barn owl for all the scouts to see. It was the largest one I've seen so far, and it really makes me feel good to see, you know, all the parents who are involved in scouting, who have to do all the windshield time, going all back and forth all over the county and all over the state, and in some cases the country when they go out to camps in New Mexico and the like. And when I spoke to them that day, I told them, I said, look, this is great that you're involved in your community. Just maintain that. Keep your scout oath as you progress to make you better citizens in this county. It makes me feel good to see that, and I like to see that scouting expand in the county to instill these young people with these principles that they will need to succeed in their life. But I do want to say congratulations to Eagle Scout Neil. I want to congratulate also all the student athletes who finished up their spring sports tryouts this past yesterday evening. Got to do a little bit of bragging on my youngest son. He did make Chopticon's lacrosse team. He's never played lacrosse before, and he figured he'd give it a go coming out of basketball. And looking forward to catching as many of those games as I can over the spring. And of course, like I said, basketball just closed up. Sunday was his last game in playoffs for Rec and Parks basketball for the group that he's playing in. His next game will be the championship game, and looking forward to that. Again, it's a great program that Rec and Parks has for these students who don't quite make their high school teams but still want to play the game, or who don't have the time to commit to being on the high school team. A good, exciting, clean game, and I will have to say I've only seen one outburst from a coach and one outburst from a parent this year, which I think is great. You know, of course, you get back calls, and the parent was just a little hyper positive about the play on the court, and I'll just leave it at that. Lastly, 7th District Optimist Club doing their drive-through Lenten dinners on Friday evening. I do believe this Friday's menu is fried shrimp and fried oysters for the low price of $20 per dinner.
Wow, we gotta get some of that.
I think we're underpricing that,
Sounds
but that's
good.
me.
Sounds
And
good.
if you want to take a trip out, you know, come on out to 7th District Ballpark in Bushwood and just follow the signs and get yourself some nice home-cooked food. And thank you very much.
Okay, Scott, you got it.
Well, I want to ask one question first. Commissioner Alderson, are you going to be manning the fryer at the for the Friday Lenten dinners?
No, I'll be at the chamber.
Ah, okay, well.
I'll be manning the fryer at the Cherry Blossom Festival, though.
Excellent.
There you go.
Excellent. Boardwalk fries?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. So I'd like to start off with a shout out to my absolute two favoritist people who live in St. Mary's County.
Thank you.
A huge shout out to my grandson Thomas, who is turning the big 2 on Saturday. So we are looking forward to attending his Toy Story themed birthday party. And then another shout out to my granddaughter, who also made spring tryouts and made the Rex and Parks T-ball team. They don't actually play any actual games. It's just a lot of practices, but it's going to be a great time. And Grandma and Grandpa are looking forward to going out and supporting her and seeing a lot of great T-ball games and other wonderful sporting events in the future. So with that, also want to make sure to point out again that the April 6th, the community garden ribbon cutting is going to be a great event. A lot of work went into making that happen for the Lexington Park area, and there's a lot of great things that are going on within the community garden. I've rented a spot. Like I don't have enough time already to tend my garden at home. I got one more to do, but I'm looking forward to that. There's a lot of teaching and a lot of great learning that comes through the community garden. Folks can learn how to plant a garden, grow a garden, be a little bit more self-sustainable as prices of food are skyrocketing. It's great to be able to grow your own fruits and vegetables and know that you grew that and you can take it home and you know exactly what's in it. You don't have to worry about what's been treated with, anything like that. You get great organic, fresh vegetables that you grew. So come on out and support that. There's still, I believe, some spots available. So if you haven't picked one, pick one. It's going to be a great thing for the community. Also, the Cherry Blossom Festival, again, on April 6th at Passive Park. Going to be a great time. It always is. So looking forward to boardwalk fries, looking forward to enjoying all the vendors that are going to be out, all the food. And it's just a great time to get together with the community and just enjoy our wonderful community that we live in. Once again, there's a budget work session this afternoon at 1:30. I want to echo what the other commissioners have said. It's a tough budget season this year, and it's certainly, well, I've only done one, but it's certainly one of I've been in finance and for over 23 years, and so I've got a fair bit of experience in it and in budgeting, and it's one of the most difficult budgets I've ever looked at, and we definitely have a lot of work still to do on this and a lot of very difficult decisions to make. All the commissioners up on this panel are dedicated to make sure that St. Mary's County has the best that we can possibly provide for them, and we are going to look very hard at making things work the best that we can. But understand that the cloth can only be cut so many ways, and we have to support the entire community. That's the schools, the libraries, the sheriff, all the things that have already been mentioned. We take this job very seriously. I've had a lot of folks come up to me and voice their concerns to me, and I always tell them that we all take this job very seriously and we take these budget sessions seriously. So please come out, stay tuned in. Know what's going on, and feel free to, as always, to reach out to me or any of the commissioners up here if you have questions, concerns, or anything along those lines. Also this weekend, another great weekend coming up. It's going to be a little cold and damp and overcast, but still spring is in the air, and you can tell that by my allergies going wild. It's just wonderful. But get out, enjoy beautiful St. Mary's. Lots of farmers markets still going on around. I always put in a plug for Red Barn. Get on out, enjoy local produce, support local businesses, and thank you all very much.
Thank you, Commissioners. Okay. Real quick, we had a visit from Sonny the Squirrel, as y'all saw at the beginning of the program. He's a Parks and Rec's mascot, you might say. So a shout out to the Saturday, April 6th from noon to 4, Lexington Manor Passive Park. It's going to be our opening of spring with the cherry blossom, and also the dedication of the new community garden at that area, ribbon cutting. So come on out and enjoy it. Next, I wanted to shout out, I know that Commissioner Hewitt already talked about our educational problem, but understand the Kerwin, the roadmap of Maryland for education. Seemed like the state of Maryland's not really stepping up to their payment. And the school was very lightly funded this year from the state of Maryland, very little increase. Matter of fact, I think it was less than 100,000. So with all this, you might want to direct your letters to our delegation and direct them to the school board. That why aren't they arguing with them about it? Why are they coming to us in the county trying to make us, unfortunately, the bad guys? And we're not. We fully have funded education. The last 9 years that I've been here, we've
Over and
always
above.
given over and above maintenance of effort for 9 years. I'm talking about millions of dollars over. And we support you teachers. We support education 100%. We really do. So it's wrong to think of otherwise. Unfortunately, I think they're a little exaggerated on how much they need, but we'll see. But the money's only gone so far. Our job is supporting the entire county. We have all the other services we have to provide. And school is important, very important. Education is extremely important. We're all here today because of education. And we've all been successful because of education, no doubt about it. So I want to say that. Anyway, first, before I forget, I got to give my Theo update. He's done very well. He's almost 12 pounds. Unfortunately, he's still on supplemental oxygen. He just had went to the doctor yesterday. They still keep him on oxygen. He's still taking certain meds. So my wife, one of the grandmothers, has been since the 26th of December 2023, taking care of him Monday through Friday down in Wilmington, North Carolina area. Yeah, they're actually in a place called Curry. It's about 20 miles outside of Wilmington. And she's dedicated her time to that. She will remain there as long as it takes. Now, this week she happens to be home. They took a break because our birthdays about a week apart. Mine was Saturday, hers is Sunday. So we got a chance to celebrate that. Of course, she claims she was cheated out of 1 hour because she had to set the clocks. You know, we're going to advance it an hour. So that means she only has 23 hours in her day. I had 24 in mine. She made a point about that. I said, okay, sorry about that, honey. So anyway, I also want to talk about, I got a great call last week from a gentleman who is at the new Willows Road Rec Center, the gymnastics center that has some controversy about buying. But he told me, he said he was there with his 5-year-old granddaughter now. And he said, Randy, I want to let you know that my 2 daughters graduated through the gymnastics center that you had all these years. They both went on to be very successful in their life. One of them's an engineer, one of them's a pharmacist, and my 5-year-old granddaughter now is going to enroll. And he said, I think this is a great program. What a great thing y'all did by buying this place. And I said, so it's not very often that you get a call from a constituent saying thank you. And I assure you the things we do, we look at what the county and what the constituents need, and we try to provide that. And this is all part of it. We had a place that didn't quite meet the needs. It's just too old, needed to be roof raised, everything else. And we make a decision to find a place that already had that existence. Very minimal amount of money was spent to put it in shape. And this guy was he said, wow, what a place y'all purchased here. So thank you, Dave. So cool for your comment. With that said, I got to close the meeting here, but I want to remind everybody that there's a budget work session that will be done at 1:30 today. Tune in. Meeting adjourned.